In today's lesson, we are going to talk about Alexander the Great, his military tactics, and his legacy. Yesterday, we talked about how he grew up, he being mentored by Aristotle, he being raised under King Philip II. He took his first troops, 16. He became king of Macedonia around 20. He developed the phalanx. Today, we're going to talk about who his rivals were and his battles. He invades Persia at the Battle of Graniceus in 334 BC. He defeats a 110,000 Persian army, which the Persians can get a lot of people, but he took them down. He goes to Egypt. He continues on to Egypt after he defeats the Persians. When he enters, he is basically called Pharaoh. Now remember what Pharaoh was. Pharaoh basically means ruler of Egypt, king of Egypt. And he's called Pharaoh the minute he walks in. His biggest rival is Darius of Persia. They have three key battles. Remember, Persia is a big area and a big region during this time period. Time for school. He has three battles with Darius. Alexander beats Persia, losing only 110 men. So Alexander won up. Battle number 2, Alexander won. Darius was forced to flee out of the city or out of the area, leaving his mother, wife, and children to Alexander. Alexander 2, Darius none. And to make matters worse, he had to leave his mother, children, and his wife with Alexander. His children, you're going to see something about his children here in just a second. Battle number 3, Alexander beats Darius in Mesopotamia. Alexander was called king of Persia, and Darius' royal city was burned to the ground. Darius had to flee one more time. Alexander wins 3-0. But what happens next? Darius, when he was fleeing his city, was killed, assassinated by his own men. Alexander says, since I'm king of Persia now, I might as well do something good for the Persians. So, in return to his rival, and in return to the people of Persia, he kills those men and gives Darius a royal funeral. Why he does it? History still is trying to prove why he did it. But the reason I think he did it is because he was trying to give something back to the Persians and trying to give back to his rival, even though the rival had already passed. Alexander's legacy. He made Babylonia capital of his empire. We've already talked about Babylonia, so you should remember what it is. Remember I told you that the children were going to be back in the story here in a second? Alexander, light bell. Alexander married one of Darius' daughters. So the children, Alexander ends up marrying one of them. His death happened on June 11th of 323 BC. Right before his 33rd birthday, he was 32 years old. It happened in the palace of Nebuchadnezzar II. Remember, we have already talked about the Nebuchadnezzars of Babylon. The cause is unknown. Now, what they believe happened is a combination of either a sickness is one reason, somebody possibly poisoned a drink, or somebody possibly, the third reason, which isn't as plausible, is that somebody just killed him. But the cause is still unknown. Why is Alexander important today? He basically spread the empire, brought Greece back up, brought that area back up, and basically ran that area for years. For 32 years, he basically ran that area. His legacy still continues on today in that area of the world. If you mention Alexander the Great in that area, they could tell you how great he really is still to this day. This is today's lesson on Alexander the Great.